Hi there, my name is Cupicate, and welcome back to Clangen, the path of the dark forest, with our very, very bloodthirsty, vengeful cats that actually sacrifice to the dark forest. And last time, Pale Star decided that there needed to be a sacrifice every 5 moons, and that there needs to be 2 sacrifices instead of 1. Now, Half-Heart had stood up against Pale Star and said that 1 is enough, and Half-Heart is starting to realize how wrong this truly is, and is honestly afraid of the wrath of StarClan, and is even leaning towards abandoning the path of the Dark Forest altogether. But now that she's done that, she's been demoted from deputy. Quincy has taken her place, and she's in fear for her life because she has now stood up against Pale Star. So she needs to be very careful, or she needs to be sneaky about getting away. So currently we have 2 pages full of cats, and we're just going to briefly go through some of the big ones that have been here for the longest time and some important ones that are playing a big part in our story. So obviously we have Pale Star. Now Pale Star is 141 moons old. She's not going to last forever. She does still have 8 lives remaining, but she's going to start eating those up as she ages. She is currently craving the taste of rabbit. Her former apprentices were Blazepaw and Acorn Haze. She is still very bloodthirsty. Now here's something interesting that I almost forgot about. She does have a strong connection to StarClan. So it is possible that she is in tune with some of StarClan, or maybe there are those in StarClan that are giving her insights, and she's using that information for the Dark Forest. So interesting there. I wonder what your thoughts are on that. So next we do have Half-Heart, who is in the medicine den, which is probably not a good place for her to be, even though we had lost Maxwell last time. And that was pretty hard because Maxwell had been around for a really long time. It's possible that during that ceremony, Pale Star may have lashed out at Half-Heart and is now having an injury treated. Then we have a Raven Rapid who's feeling sore today. Raven Rapid was a kitty pet, but she's been around for quite a while since the beginning. In fact, I think there was one episode I thought I lost her, but I guess we didn't. But she is still here. And then we have Judas. Now, Judas is a very interesting cat. He's here and he's kind of going through the motions, but he doesn't really approve of what's going on. And I think that Half-Heart and Judas may possibly have some sort of a secret relationship going on behind the scenes, where they may be planning something in order to get some cats out and possibly even overturn this whole cult situation they have with the Dark Forest. He wants to spend some time alone today. I'm pretty sure after the previous night, he's a little bit shaken, and he might even be afraid to go forward, taking action against Pale Star. Now, Sparrowpaw feels a sense of dread, which is very interesting. Even though they are a bloodthirsty cat, maybe they're realizing what they are eventually going to have to do, and in some way deep down, they know morally it's wrong. But Quincy, who is now the new deputy, is Sparrowpaw's mentor. And so he is going to make sure that Sparrowpaw is ready to possibly take his place when Pale Star passes, and so the bloodthirsty line will continue. And here is Quincy, our vengeful deputy. He was a kitty pet, which is kind of interesting. And it's so funny, he looks really cute. But no, he's pretty horrible. He's a pretty horrible guy. He really approves of what Pale Star is doing and is thusly raising Sparrowpaw to do the same. Is sharing prey with Snipfur. So interesting that Quincy has a decent relationship with Snipfur. So our clan still does not have a medicine cat. And I think that Pale Star is having trouble assigning somebody after the relationship they had with Moss Shell. Pale Star and Moss Shell were very close. They trusted each other. They had a very good relationship with each other for the most part. I don't think Pale Star really likes anybody, but Moss Shell was one of those cats that they approved of. And Pale Star is not sure that anyone can properly take their place. So it is going to be very, very hard to find a replacement for Moss Shell. We may have to look through our cats and see if there are any, and it may just be that Pale Star doesn't assign a new medicine cat. So now it is the next moon, and Pale Star still has not decided a proper medicine cat. She is waiting to hear from the Dark Forest if they have any idea of who she should assign. Now, Raven Rapid managed to find an abandoned kit named Tawny Kit, so we will check them out in just a second. Pete Eyes has earned their warrior name, Dusk Ear has earned their warrior name, and Sparrow Spot has earned their warrior name, so we will look at them as well. So here is Tawny Kit, who is scared of having a nightmare and is a bit bouncy. They do seem to have a very light colored pelt, so unless they suddenly emerge with a bloodthirsty, vengeful, strict trait, it's not going to look very good when Tawny Kit does eventually grow into an apprentice. So here is Pete Eyes, who ended up becoming a daring warrior. I would say that daring falls in the middle of desired and undesired, but they do have a lighter color coat. So Pete Eyes may be looked at for a future sacrifice. Dusk Ear ended up being pretty dark. They are a responsible warrior. I don't know if responsible is good or bad. I think in the case of responsible, they take responsibility for their clan. So they are responsible in the sense to their clan, and therefore Duskier will probably be okay. Then we have Sparrow Spot, who did keep the bloodthirsty trait. And he is going to be an excellent cat to take Quincy's place when Pale Star dies and Quincy becomes the leader. Well, so this is not very good. It looks like Olive Paw and Snip Fur were caught by Two Legs and taken into their monsters. So we have lost Olive Paw and Snip Fur to the Two Legs, and they are gone. It's very sad when that happens, but I assume that Pale Star will probably look at that and she'll say, they couldn't get away, they weren't good enough, and the Dark Forest didn't protect them. And she would just be very nonchalant and uncaring about it, and I have a feeling that would set some of the other clan members at a bit of unease that does she even care about any of us? So it looks like Quincy actually ended up finding a cat that was injured on the Thunderpath, so we will have to see that once our patrol is done. It looks like they found an elder kitty pet named Smoke Speck, and they are a pretty loyal elder, loyal to the clan that healed them, I'm sure. Loyal wouldn't necessarily be a bad trait as long as you're loyal to your clan. And they are looking around the camp in wonder. Now, fortunately, they are untouchable because they are an elder. Elders and kits cannot be sacrificed. Although I wouldn't put it past Pale Star. So Quincy is thinking about retiring, which is really odd. Maybe they had a really tiring day the other day. I don't know. I didn't think Quincy was that old, to be honest. And then Shellpaw and Primpaw started their apprenticeship. Primpaw actually got bitten by a snake, but ended up living through it. So that's pretty cool for Primpaw. Let's take a look at them and see if they have any interesting traits. So Shellpaw, I think Pale Star is going to announce to the clan that because Shellpaw has Shell in his name, that he will have a connection to Moss Shell, who also had Shell in her name. And she is going to claim that because of this, the Dark Forest is linking them together, and that instead of him being an apprentice to be a warrior, He is going to be a medicine cat. Now, unfortunately, there is no medicine cat to train Shellpaw, so Pale Star is going to take it upon herself to teach Shellpaw everything she knows or has learned in her experience from Marshall and their life together. And unfortunately will probably taint this poor apprentice into being like Marshall, who was very, very good and very skilled at her job, but definitely pushed the ways of the Dark Forest. So we did have a loner join with a litter of kits. We will check them out in just a moment. It looks like Pete Pelt has joined the clan. She is a female at 97 moons. She's a lonesome warrior with, I would say, a more lighter color pelt, but maybe in the middle compared to some others. She has brought in Iris Kit, who is covered in feathers, a very polite kitten. And then we have Oak Kit, who is a bit of a daydreamer, a little female and a little female, all little females. Very, very interesting. It is now the 30th moon. 5 moons have passed since the last sacrifice, and Pale Star is preparing for this day's sacrifice. Now, a new loner has joined the clan, and they have changed their name to Osprey Dapple. And so we are going to take a look at them and see if the Dark Forest possibly sent them as a potential sacrifice or someone to help the clan. Ooh, now Osprey Dapple has a very dark pelt. They are a responsible warrior, fairly young, and I don't think that Pale Star will look at them as a potential sacrifice, but somebody to mold into their ways, and thusly will leave them alone. So now that the patrols are done and the sun has set behind the shadowing trees, Pale Star will slowly climb up to her moldy, fungus-riddled, slime-covered trunk and take her place to announce who will be taken to the Dark Forest today. Before the ceremony starts, she's going to glare menacingly at Halfheart, a silent warning for her to keep her place and to say nothing and to do nothing. Halfheart will likely do this because she doesn't have a plan just yet, and there is nothing she can do. As the cats make a circle in front of Pale Star, she will then announce that Carmen has the great honor of being sacrificed to the Dark Forest. And he, being a very nervous cat, is going to start backing up. But Quincy is going to jump down and push him into the center, where Pale Star will then ask her deputy to do the job. And thusly, Carmen will be given to the Dark Forest. Next, Pale Star will announce that Cocoa Puff has earned their place to go to the Dark Forest, and that due to their playful nature, they need to be taught by the Dark Ones how to live amongst them, and therefore will be sacrificed to the Dark Forest. And as Quincy drags Cocoa Puff into the middle and holds him down, he will call for Sparrow Spot to show the rest of the clan that they are possibly ready to take the place as deputy, even as young as they are, if anything were to happen to Pale Star. And Quincy looks up to Pale Star for approval, and she simply nods her head. No emotion, no empathy, nothing but blankness. And so Sparrow Spot, without any thought, will do exactly as they're told and will give Cocoa Puff to the Dark Forest. It is the next moon, and Raven Rapid believes they are a part of the new prophecy. And in saying that, we are going to say that Raven Rapid went to Pale Star and said that they believe they are meant to be sacrificed to the dark forest. And so it is unsurprising in these situations that things like this would happen. You would have zealots, extremely devout cats that would believe that they are meant to be next and would start volunteering for these things because they have been so brainwashed into believing this to be true. And therefore, we will have cats like Raven Rapid who believe they are meant to be next. Looks like a new kitty pet has joined the clan. Oh boy, they have no idea what they're in for. Looks like it was a apprentice, Duskpaw, formerly a kitty pet. What an interesting coat, but very, very pale. We will see if they survive a patrol on their own. And they do. That's impressive. And now we have another loner that joins the clan with a litter of kits. And Pale Star continues to froth at the mouth of pleasing the Dark Forest, all these potential sacrifices that are just coming into her camp as if being pulled by the Dark Forest itself, and she is greedy with the bloodthirst. A cat named Shade Bounce, a confident warrior. Ooh, a very dark-coated cat, possibly going to be quite safe, but no telling for their kits. Let's see if they survive on their own. And they do. So Pale Star gave Duskpaw to Halfheart, and I guarantee Pale Star did that knowing they had all the intentions in the world to sacrifice Duskpaw. They are doing this to purposely hurt Halfheart, making them raise these cats only to be sacrificed. But I think Halfheart this time is going to try and save this cat. So a kitty pet named James stops Beefer and asks to join the clan. James decides to keep their name. Let's take a look at James. Hello, James, and a very adventurous warrior. You know what? James could totally be a female name. Also, they may call themselves that because they feel like a male. But yes, James has joined. What a beautiful cat they are. And so I'm wondering, it's like half dark, half bright. Pale Star may keep their eye on James, but is unsure and may ask the Dark Forest for help. We didn't get to look at Shade Bounce's kits. It looks like she brought in a kit, Woodkit, who is very bright colored. That's not very good. Refuses to eat the herbs the medicine cat has given them for their tummy. Uh-oh, that's not good. And then we have another light colored kit, Sharp Kit, who feels a sense of dread. This kit must be very in tune with what's going on right now. And yet another loner joins the clan. It looks as though a loner named Sandleg has joined the clan, and though they are slightly pale colored, they are a vengeful cat. And so they will fit in quite well, but they must survive a patrol on their own. And they do. So Tawny Paw has now started their apprenticeship and actually saved Woodkit from falling in the river. That's pretty impressive for this cat, and I'm sure Pale Star will notice it, but probably not in a good way. So Shellstream has earned their medicine cat name officially, becoming the medicine cat, and can take an apprentice of his own now. Prim Speck has earned their warrior name. Iris Paw and Oak Paw have earned their apprentice name, but it is the 35th moon, so we will go on with patrols and see what Pale Star chooses to do. Y'all, another loner, another loner with litters joined, and their name is Snick. I'm sorry, it's just so cute. Another loner named Spruce Speck and their kids. Oh my gosh, what is happening? She didn't make it though, or they didn't make it. I don't actually know what their gender is. They ate death berries and died. That's pretty horrible, actually. They didn't have anyone with them to tell them otherwise, which is probably what happened, but wow, I did not expect that. I think that's actually the first time we've ever lost a cat to a single patrol, and it's a shame because Spruce Speck was super pretty. And again, it is night as the sun drifts behind the trees, and the snow is the only thing lighting up the forest right now. Pale Star takes her place upon her stump and calls the cats. But we'll have to wait to hear what she says in the next episode. I hope y'all are liking this series still, even though it is no longer spooky scary season. I really enjoy the challenge, even though it is very dark and morbid. I think it's kind of cool to see a darker clan, but I'm also kind of rooting for Halfheart and Judas and maybe other cats to step up and start secretly doing things behind Pale Star's back to help other cats escape. But they put themselves at a huge risk when doing that. We'll just have to find out what happens. If you liked this video, make sure you give the like button a tickle little poke, subscribe to join our family if you haven't already, and jingle that bell to get notified of when I post episodes. Also, join Discord. We love clangen in the Discord, so if you want to come in and share your clan experience or any challenges you have, go on and join. We might even try your challenges and stuff. All right, I love you guys. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you next week for more clangen. Bye.